So hi guys, welcome back. My name is Agnes. If you're new here, today I'll be showing you how to make these beautiful shorts. They have this beautiful shell edging and an adjustable waistband, so you can make them in any size that you wish. In this tutorial I made them in a hip size 40 measurements. So if all you need is to take your hips measurements, and you can make them in any size. Okay, so if you're new here, please subscribe if you haven't. Also, if you haven't subscribed and you're old here, please do so. Give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment and let me know if it was helpful or if you liked it and what you would like me to do next. Okay, so let's get into the video. So in this tutorial, I use a 3.5mm hook. I'll use a tape measure, scissors, and a size 3 yarn, brand Winter King. It's acrylic yarn, 100% made in Kenya. You can use any other type of yarn that you may have. So we'll start off by making a foundation chain for our waistband. Make a slip knot and chain enough chain as your hips measurements. So once you take your hips measurements, make this chain, stretch it out, and when it is stretched, it should be equal to your hips measurements when stretched. So I did 132 chains and my hips measurements were 40. So if I stretch this out, I get to my hips measurements 40 when it is stretched. Okay, so that will be our foundation chain for the waist. So straighten up the chain, make sure it's not entangled, and then close it off with a slip stitch in that very first chain, like that. So now we have our foundation for the waist. So we're going to use double crochet for this first row. So chain 3, yarn over. In that very first chain, insert your hook. Yarn over. You have 3 loops, pull through the first 2 loops, you have 2, pull through the last 2 loops, yarn over, go into the next chain and insert a double crochet. So you're going to insert double crochets in every chain till you get to the end of this row. Okay, so do that and I'll meet you at the end of the row. So I'm at the end of the row and we're going to close this off by slip stitching in that on top of chain 3, like that. So now we're going to row 2, chain 3, and we're going to use front post and back post for this second row. So yarn over, under your very first double crochet, insert your hook under it like that, and then make a double crochet. So that is your front post. So for the back post, go at the back under that second double crochet from the back like that, and then make a double crochet. So that is your back post. So next will be a front post. Go under it from the front like that and make a double crochet. So and the next will be a back post. So you're going to be alternating between front post and back post for this second row. Go under it from the back and make a double crochet. So this is the pattern for this row too. Continue doing that and we'll meet you at the end. So we've come to the end of row 2. Close this off with a slip stitch on top of the chain 3, like that, and then we go to row 3, chain 3, and under that first front post make another front post. So now it is easier. So at the back post make a back post. So we're just going to repeat row 2 for this row. Where there's a front post, make a front post. Where there's a back post, make a back post. Okay, do that, and I'll meet you once you're done with row 3. So we're going to row 4, and we are going to work with half double crochets. So chain 2, and in that very first stitch, insert a half double crochet. So a double crochet is you yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch, yarn over, you have 3, and then pull through all the 3 loops on your hook. So for this row, we are done with the waistband, and we are starting on the body, on the lower part. So we are going to use half double crochets for this row. So insert a half double crochet in every stitch, and I'll meet you once you're at the end. Okay, so we are coming to the end of row 4, which is our row 1 of half double crochets. So to close this row off, we're going to use a slip stitch on top of that chain 2, like that, and then chain 2 to go to row 2 of half double crochets. Turn your work. Now we're starting on row 2. Insert a half double crochet in that very first stitch, like that, and we're going to use double crochets in every other stitch. So every time you get to the end of the row, chain 2, then turn your work and work half double crochets for that next row. Okay, so we are going to repeat this row until you have a total of 20 rows of half double crochet. So I've come to the end of my 20 rows. That's 20 rows of half double crochet, and when I measure this from top to bottom, it's 8.5 inches long. So we are now going to work on the leg holes. You need to find the middle part of this skirt looking thing. I had 132 chains, so when I divide that, it becomes 66. So right from this, I will count 66 stitches. So from where my row ended, when I count 66 stitches to the other side, I will put a stitch marker in my 66th stitch. Okay, so that is my middle part. And then we are now going to make the crotch area. So chain 20 chains for the crotch area. Chains, and then we are going to join to where we had put our stitch marker in our 66th stitch. That is half of your original chains. Okay, so now we are going to slip stitch on the other end and close that off and cut off the yarn. Okay, now we have our crotch area. So if you had maybe 150, so half of 150 is where you will attach that chain. Okay, now that I want the seam to go in between our in our inner thighs, reattach your yarn in the middle of your chain, because we want it to look neat. So chain 2, and we're going to work half double crochets. Make sure you're working the right side. Okay, so I'll insert a half double crochet in that very first chain where we had, and then insert half double crochet in the rest of the chains. So I'm the end of the chain. I did my 10 half double crochets, and now I'll continue and work half double crochets on top of every half double crochet that I had before. So we're going to work round and round like we're doing before, but in this case we'll be working one leg hole at a time. Okay, so you're going to go round and then come to this other side, work over the chain, and then finish that row 1. So I've worked and I'm at the end of row 1, and we are going to close this off with a slip stitch on that chain 2, on top of that chain 2. Okay, so that is our first row on the first leg hole. So chain 2, turn your work and work half double crochets in every stitch all around that leg hole. Okay, so we're starting in the middle part of the crotch area and then going around and finishing off the row. I'll meet you when you're done with 6 rows. Okay, so we are done with 6 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're now going to work on the edging. So if you want it longer, because this is a booty short, if you want it longer, you can add a few more rows. We're going to use the shell stitch, so using double crochet. So skip 3 stitches, and in the 4th stitch make a double crochet like that. In that very same stitch, make a 2nd double crochet and make a 3rd double crochet in that very same stitch. Chain 2 and make 3 more double crochets in that very same stitch. So that was the 4th stitch. That's where we make a shell like that. So you're going to skip 3, and in the 4th make a slip stitch. Then skip 3 stitches, and in the 4th stitch make a double crochet, make another double crochet and another double crochet, chain 3 and make 3 more double crochets in that very same stitch to make a shell. Okay, so that will be the pattern. Skip 3 stitches, and in the 4th stitch make a slip stitch. Then skip 3 stitches, and in the 4th stitch make a shell. That is going to be the pattern. So that was the pattern for that row. Make shell stitches all across, and once you're done, then we'll work on the 2nd leg hole. So reattach your yarn in the middle of where we of the crochet area, in the middle of the stitches, and make half double crochets. Make sure you're working in the right direction. So you're going to make half double crochets in every stitch, just like we did for the other leg hole. So we're simply doing a repeat of the other leg hole just to match it. So it's half double crochets. Once you get to the end, connect and then chain 2, then turn your work until you have a total of 6 rows. So we're done with the 2 leg holes. They are all similar. You just had to repeat the pattern for one leg hole on the other leg hole, and we're now going to make the drawstring. So chain enough chains to pass that can go around your waist. I did about 180 chains. Okay, so we're going to put in this through the last the very row on the top. So just pass it through the front post and back post, in and out, and this drawstring will help you to adjust your waist so that it fits perfectly. Okay, so it's in and out all those front and back posts. So once you're done, This is how your short will look like, and I find it so pretty. So if you find it beautiful, give this video a thumbs up. You may subscribe to my channel so that you didn't miss out on upcoming videos, and leave a comment and let me know if this was helpful. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.